Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another vlog and another video. So I know I hadn't done a ton of a ton of vlogging or a ton of videoing this week. Um, uh, you know, I know I did a little bit earlier this week, this past Monday, on the potential of looking to try and do a cruise, maybe some point fairly soon, maybe some point throughout 2020. I know it's been a few days since I had last did any vlogging or videoing. Um, uh, well, right now we've got some pretty heavy snow. After having a after having kind of an unseasonably mild first half of January 2020, we're finally getting back to reality with winter weather for at least a good part of the second half of it. At least the start of the second half of at least the start of the second half of at least it at, at, at least at least the start of at least the start of the second half of January 2020 and stuff. And we'll take a peek outside and in just we'll take a peek outside. We'll take a peek outside the window in just a little bit. But first, I thought I would kind of let you know of a couple things that have kind of been sort of going on throughout a good bit of the rest of the week since we had last did a vlog and last did a video. So Wednesday evening, early Wednesday night, on way home from work and stuff, while on RTS Access Public Transportation, after we had picked up somebody from Wegmans Complex over in Gates, on the rest of the way home from there, a good part of the route that we ended up taking the rest of the way home from there ended up being Route 490 North. As we were just veering onto Route 490 North, we happened to make a pretty unpleasant discovery, and we happened to see on Interloop getting off of Route 490 North. There, we happened to see apparently there happened to be this transporting van that actually caught fire. We happened to be driving by to find that there was this entire front end of a transporting van that had actually just caught fire. And then seconds later, we see a Town of Gates police sheriff car with its flashers all on, most likely heading to the scene. Then, right after that, we end up seeing two fire trucks getting onto Route 490 South, most likely heading to the scene of the transporting van that had just caught fire and stuff. So that's that story. The second story. So yesterday had a fine day at work and stuff. It's just that. So yesterday, for going to work, times that I had for RTS Access Public Transportation, I had 8:05 a.m. to 8:25 a.m. for going to work at Henrietta BJ's Wholesale Club location, border of Henrietta and stuff. Again, I had 8:05 to 8:25, and so I get out the door and step outside about want to say it was 8:01, 8:02, and shortly right after, I see a bus get into our place. And so end up getting on the bus like so, doing our payment fare like so, and then we get everybody else that was on their list on the bus like so. And so then we make I think like one or a couple other stops, and then from there we get the daily LAI Lifetime Assistance Workshop crew all dropped off. Then we get another gentleman at another at another place in another location, at another Lifetime Assistance Workshop location nearby dropped off. Then apparently we realized too late that we actually the bus that we ended up getting on, we actually were not even on their list. Usually the driver would say something if we are not actually on their list. The fact of the matter was, the weather yesterday morning wasn't like completely out of control blowing snow, but it was enough where the main concern was, the kind of, challenging weather that had been going on throughout a lot of the morning yesterday. And so the main focus for the driver of the bus that ended up getting here right before our 20-minute window, our 8:05, 8:25 20-minute window had just gotten started. Main focus was just getting everybody that they did have on their list on the bus, and then doing whatever other stops were on their list to deal with between here and the location where our daily LAI workshop crew usually goes. And just getting people to their destinations, from there afterwards. And so, that's why we ended up realizing too late that we actually ended up getting on the wrong bus, and we ended up and the bus that we ended up getting on to begin with, that we actually were not even on their list. Luckily, one of the other people that was on their list had canceled a little while prior. And so apparently, initially, we would have had a no-show yesterday due to the fact that the bus that was original, that the bus that's list that we were on, that had also been due to come here early yesterday morning, had got here and we weren't even here, all pretty much because of the fact that we ended up getting on bus that we had assumed was us. Real shortly, right before our 8:05 to 8:25 a.m. 20-minute window had started, and nothing been said about us not being on their list, and us not even realizing till it was too late that we actually were not even on their list. So again, initially we would have had a no-show yesterday, but it all sounds like, because it was kind of more their fault for not realizing it till it was too late. It sounds like they ended up giving this one in our end a break and ending up deleting the no-show because it was more on them that stuff in their end and them and they didn't realize till it was too late that we were not actually on their list, that we actually were not even on their list with the bus that we did end up getting on, that got here, that came here and that showed up here right shortly before, as things were very close to approaching our 8:05 to 8:25 a.m. 20-minute window yesterday for going to work yesterday. Apparently, however, the bus that we ended up getting on, they did also have, a couple of the other people that were kind of on their list to begin with. They were due to go get somebody back a little bit further out in Gates that was in a wheelchair, and then somebody further on the border of Gates heading more towards Henrietta, and then due to drop them off at their destinations that they were due to go at. So apparently we ended up having a good bit of a delay getting to work. Of course they would have understood a little bit too that, again, the weather wasn't like completely out of control, completely out of control nasty yesterday, but it was enough where, you definitely had to monitor your way of getting around a little bit. So I did give them a buzz once, letting them know that, yes, to begin with, of course, that there was a good bit of a delay with us getting there. Well, to start, mainly because of the off weather conditions and stuff. But I also felt like it was also best to kind of let them know too that we did also have a situation where we ended up getting on the wrong bus and stuff did not realize that till it was too late. And so the time that stuff had realized that was about it was I think just before 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday that we had realized that. And so again, then, they had, a couple other people that were on their list to begin with. One that had to go that was further back out a little further back further in Gates, that was in a wheelchair, and then another one further on the border of Gates heading more towards Henrietta, pretty close to Route 390 southeast and stuff. Route 390 southeast, Route 390 east more so. Yeah. Route 390 southeast kind of. And so we get to the person that was on their list, that was on their list due to be gone and gotten further out in Gates. It was around 20 after 9. And then the person that was due to be gone and gotten further on the border of Gates, close to Route 390 southeast and stuff, heading more towards Henrietta, was it was 9:45. So then I did give work a buzz, again, letting them know further details and further notice about everything. And again, they pretty much understood everything, what was going on. Of course, stuff had said, you really don't need to really give them a buzz about it more than once. I just felt like it was in best interest just to let them know what was going on a little bit, and just that, in my book, it wasn't so much just the kind of off weather conditions. It was the fact that we had a situation where we ended up getting on the wrong bus, where we actually were not even on their list, and we were actually on another bus's list. And so, and they had a couple other people to go get that were on their list and then drop off and bring to their destinations that they were due to go to. So, I mean, we didn't get there completely late. I mean, again, they understood yesterday, the situation and stuff, so it was cool, but we actually didn't even get there till we were due to start at 9:30. And, I mean, of course, both times that we gave them a buzz, letting them know, especially the second time, to let them know the latest update on stuff again. Even then they said, no problem, we'll see you when you get here and stuff. Apparently, we did not even actually end up making it there till actually more like 10:30. Again, this is all because of the situation where things did not realize till it was too late that we actually ended up getting on the wrong bus. And things did not realize till it was too late that we actually were not even on their list. And we were actually on a different bus's list. So, initially we were booked to do 18 and a half hours this week. Well, apparently we kind of lost an hour as a result of stuff. So we ended up just doing 17 and a half hours this week. I mean, it's not too bad, It's just we ended up working one less hour from what we were originally due and booked to end up working this week, So, well, how about we switch gears and we'll, take a look outside at how bad the snow is actually coming down. In parts of the area today, they said we were supposed to, they weren't calling for us getting like a crazy out of control amount of snow today. For some of us, they said a good 1 to 3 inches. All this time up, at least up until now, or at least up to now, they have been saying for other parts of the area, actually getting more like 3 to 5 inches of snow. So take a look outside and see what's going on with the snow coming down here. You can see it is coming down pretty good. One of our people actually just a little while ago went over our walkway with the snowblower and stuff, and then soon after went over with our sorry about that. Had my thumb in front of the lens. Went over it with our salt spreader. The fact that the snow's still coming down pretty good, I'm sure either one of us will need to go over walkway again with the snowblower later and then salt spreader again. First I was going to have RTS Access public transportation booked to go to Eastview for a little bit later today. Not just because of the weather, but more so just because I'm just a little bit restless and stuff today. Decided to pass on that, and perhaps maybe a week from today or whatnot. Maybe try booking to go there a week from today or something. But yeah, you can see the snow's coming down pretty good. They did say that as a good bit of the day goes on, we could also a good bit of the day goes on, a good bit of the rest of the afternoon, a good bit of the rest of the afternoon goes on, we could actually have some more in the way of some mixed winter precipitation as well, like some mixed rain, snow, and sleet and ice. They say winter weather advisory goes from. It started early this morning. The winter weather advisory for here in Rochester started at 4 o'clock a.m. early this morning while it was still dark, and I guess goes all the way till 9 o'clock a.m. tomorrow morning and stuff. So we still have quite a while left of a winter weather advisory here in Rochester. And then tomorrow, later in the day tomorrow is when we will be, believe it or not, finding out who will end up making it to this year's 2020 Super Bowl 2 weeks from tomorrow. I'm guessing my guess is it will either be Kansas City and Green Bay or Kansas City and San Francisco, or but I think I told you this, maybe I didn't, but Tennessee Titans have definitely been a real shock this year for the 2020 NFL football playoffs and stuff. We were definitely very, very pleased that 2 weeks prior, 2 weeks ago today, 2 weeks prior, they ended up, believe it or not, surprisingly and shockingly, getting rid of New England Patriots. So at least, again, we know other teams, for this year at least, other teams have the floor. But then, a week later, last week we ended up seeing that Tennessee Titans surprisingly and shockingly got rid of the team that had to begin with finished up with the highest rank and record and the highest record throughout the entire NFL. That would be Baltimore. And just when anybody thought that Baltimore could maybe make it to the end and end up maybe winning the whole thing this year, a lot of people, especially all Baltimore fans, were definitely very well sadly mistaken for sure. I mean, I guess the one good thing is that at least, for my stepmom's team, San Francisco, perhaps for now, at least till later in the day tomorrow or later tomorrow night, for right now, at least till we find out what happens later in the day tomorrow with this year's 2020 championship games later in the day, later on tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening, late tomorrow night. For right now, it could at least keep some of our Super Bowl hopes alive for now, at least till we find out how good Green Bay can do against San Francisco tomorrow. If Aaron Rodgers is able to bring his A game enough, that could be the end of it after tomorrow. We'll see what happens. If San Francisco is able to bring their A game enough to maybe make it happen, then good, cool. But, if Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay brings his A game and the rest of Green Bay brings their A game enough, then that'll probably be the end, and the road will end up ending here probably later on tomorrow with that. And then, so again, it's either going to probably be, my guess is that if Kansas City if somebody like the final hope for getting rid of Tennessee being Kansas City later on tomorrow, early tomorrow evening, then my guess is it'll either be Kansas City and Green Bay, or better yet, Kansas City and San Francisco. I mean, it could very well be Kansas City and Green Bay. I mean, at least my stepmom would hope that perhaps it would be Kansas City and San Francisco. That is, if San Francisco is able to outsmart Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay, which can be tough sometimes. But, I mean, San Francisco definitely did really, really good a week ago. Once again, the snow's definitely continuing to come down pretty good, as you can see. You know, there is this place at Eastview Mall that has pancake mixes like something called, I don't know if you've ever heard of anything called blackberry lemon pancake mix before. There's this place at Eastview Mall called Williams Sonoma, and I think that's the only place I've ever seen flavored pancake mix, pancake mixes like blackberry lemon. And you know, perhaps we'll try and save enough cash to maybe be able to get some of that when we go to Eastview again some point someday pretty soon. Perhaps a week from today or someday soon. See what happens. Again, the 3 pancake mixes that we ended up getting from Dad and Stepmom for Christmas 2019 recently. Perhaps we'll try and do a vlogging video comparing all that, and then if we can try and save enough cash to get some blackberry lemon pancake mix from Williams Sonoma the next time we go to Eastview Mall someday soon or some point in one of our next couple of times when we go to Eastview, perhaps we can do a vlog maybe comparing that and testing that. Once again, our walkway here, you know, right now there's a way to tell that we went over it with the snow blower just a little while ago, but if the snow keeps going like this enough to cover it right back up, you won't even know that anybody went over our walkway going along the side of the place with their snow blower. That is until we can go over it again later on. Yup. It says right here, Winter Storm Jacob unleashes. I don't remember what the rest of it said, but all right. Jacob causes mass delays and cancellations at the Chicago O'Hare Airport. I'm seeing it saying. But anyway, all right. That's as far as I'm going to bring the vlog and the video there. So be safe out there, everybody here in Rochester, and drive carefully. I guess just stay home, I guess, if you can. You know, again, not calling for like anything like a complete foot of snow, but you know, some areas they're calling for just typical 1 to 3 inches. Other parts of the area more like 3 to 5 inches. Oh my God. Let's take a look real quick here. Oh my God. Check this out. There's a scene from Western Iowa. Yep, where they were on like a expressway and like it looks like a truck ended up rear-ending a car, and a car ended up going off the road as you can see. So take a quick look at this real quick. All right, that's all for now. We'll talk to you later. Be careful out there, everybody. Be safe. Be safe. Talk to you later, everybody. Peace.